Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to understand AWS Launch Templates. So what are basically AWS Launch Templates? It's basically the blueprint. So when you launch an EC2 instance, right, you have to provide details like what is the AMI, that is Amazon Machine Image that you're going to use, details like Linux, Windows, etc. So what could be your Amazon Machine Image, your instance type, it could be like T3 micro, T2 micro, memory optimized, compute optimized, GPU optimized instance. Then what would be my key pair? Then what is the security group that I need to have basically for my EC2 instance? Then what would be my storage? And then any roles that I might attach to my instance. User today is basically when the EC2 is launched, right? At that time, it is the software that you want to install basically. It will be executed only once. So all these configurations basically have to provide when you create an instance or when you launch an instance, right? So say suppose you want to launch 10 such instances, then it would be like cumbersome really to write each and everything again and again and again and again. So what AWS has provided is basically the launch templates. It's like a blueprint. So you can just create the launch template. Say I want a particular type of AMI, particular type of this and that, and all those kind of things. And then you can just click on that, and then you can launch that instance with all the configurations that you have provided. It's like a blueprint, right? What your EC2 instance will look like. So earlier there was launch configuration. Okay. Now it has been replaced with launch template. So why AWS changed it? Because there was no versioning in the launch configuration. You couldn't modify after creation. You had to create a new one. Then there were some limitations with the spot instances. Then mixed instance policies were not possible. Then latest EC2 features were also not possible in the launch configuration. And that is why it's a legacy configuration. Now it has been replaced with launch template. So now you will only see the option of launch template in the AWS console. We'll look into that. And if you look, where are we using this? So this is basically used in auto scaling. So auto scaling is basically if we want to increase the number of instances, decrease the number of instances, replace the instances. In this case, we will use the launch template. Right, your AHG will actually dynamically increase the instances or decrease the instances. So at that time, it is not going to ask you, okay, provide me the configuration, right? It is going to use this launch template, which is your blueprint. And if you want to create a EC2 fleet or a spot fleet and all those things, anyone you can use this for manual EC2 launches. That we will see in our demo in some time. How are we going to create it? So the various features like versioning, update friendly, etc. So those are the various features. And plus, it provides versioning, the option of versioning. So in version one, say suppose my uh, it is having Java 17, and now I'm going to use the same version, and then I'll update it. And what I get is basically a new version, and the Java is 21 now. And then say again version 3 with same Java 21, but I added the uh, extra storage basically. So you can have multiple kind of versions. You can default one of the versions as your default version. So and you can change it at the time of launch instance. And what can be stored? It's basically a lot of information like EMI instance type, key pair, storage, user data, etc. So again, where it is being used, like in the AAC, etc., where AAC will have a separate video. So in that, we will explain how AAC is using this launch template. But for now, it's just how do you create the launch template. This video is all about that. Okay, so let's start and let's look into that. How do we actually create the launch template? So first, you go into the EC2. Basically, if I am in the home page of my console, if I go to EC2, in the EC2, on the left hand side, you will see this option in the instances. Okay, there is one option of launch templates. Okay, so here you can just create a launch template. Say my server to this. Okay, so now I'll just give this version 1. I don't need any guidance, etc. You can even source the other template. I can take this as a reference and then it will populate the values. from that template. So that is this option. But now I'm going to create new manually. Now first I'm going to create Amazon machine image. Basically these are application and OS images. Here I'll use Amazon Linux 2023 for me. It's free tier eligible. Then instance type, I will use T3 micro here. And then you can create a new key pair or you can use the existing one, whatever you have. Then you can provide the subnet information. Where do you want to launch this? So I have two public subnets, 1A and 1B. I'll launch it in 1A for now. You can provide availability zone because it is in public subnet 1A. I'll give the availability zone as 1A. I can create a new security group as well. Say my web server security group. And what do I want to allow with this description? Get security group rules. We'll just allow SSH port 22 from anywhere for now. And then say I also want to allow custom TCP port 8080 if I am going to deploy a Spring Boot application or something. Then I will also want to allow HTTPS for 43 again from anywhere. Now storage volume. This is the 8 GB storage volume that I have kept here. Now there are also advanced details. So one is like what would be my instance profile. So this instance profile is basically the when you're executing when any application is executing in your instance, right? Your instance doesn't have any role. Your account has, correct? So your instance doesn't by default take the roles or authorized or access whatever you have access in the account. So you have to provide it or pass on that basically accessibility or accesses to your instance, and you can limit it as well. Say suppose my application just needs to access only S3, but my account has a lot of other privileges. I only pass S3 privilege. So that's what instance profile does. You can add a new instance profile. For now, in my case, I have just created this one, which is accessing this particular bucket. So I had created this role, and I'm just passing this role to this instance profile. For now, I'm just not enabling resource-based IPv4A record. Can enable this also, but let it be for now. Then there are other features which are related to our EC2 itself that you can put in. Then there is another interesting option, which is your user data. What I'm going to do is, so this is my user data. So in my user data, I have provided this script basically, the bash script because I'm using Amazon Linux. So I'll be executing this bash script. Now what this bash script is doing, it is updating all the uh, basically installed software, and then I'm installing Java 21. Then I create a directory, and then from S3 I have uploaded my Java code actually on this location in the S3 bucket. So what it does is basically copies from your S3 to your local directory of your instance, and then you start this application. So as soon as I launch the instance, my application would be up and running. So this is the kind of scripts that you can provide with your EC2 instance. This is one-time executing script. It will not execute everything. It will just execute once. Just keep that in mind when you launch the instance. Now let's create the launch template. Now if I go to launch template, As you can see, we have all these details here. It's mentioning the version. You can also add tags if you want, and you can delete the template version. You can modify this version, create new version basically. In launch template, basically whenever you modify, there will be a new version which is created. You can set the version as default. If I have multiple versions, then I could actually do it. Then there is storage volume. I think storage volume didn't get added. Let me okay. So fine. Now this is my launch template. If I go here, you can launch instance from this template. Okay. This is the option here. And here you can choose which launch template. So I am selecting my web server IT, which we created now, and the default version 1. But there is also a drop down which you can where you can select the version. Now you can see whatever you had selected in the launch template, all is coming out automatically. Now you can directly go and launch this instance. See how easy it became. Now if I want to launch multiple instances, I can just go here, just launch instance from template. It will launch the instance. You don't have to keep on doing the same thing and again and again. So suppose if I come here, I have to select each and everything, right? I have to select AMI, I have to select instance type, network settings. So everything has to be done for each and every instance. With launch template, you are just reusing that blueprint for basically configuration, launch configuration for the template. Thank you so much. Have a good day.